How we doing, everyone? MJS back again with another video here. It's another installment of the Our First Home series. Today is Monday, April 4th, and I'm actually down here in the basement. I can't remember exactly the last time that I recorded anything, but we've made some updates and upgrades to a couple different things down here. And also, in the coming months, as we kind of do this project, actually more so in the coming weeks, me and my dad are going to have to deal with the whole AC upstairs, so I'll definitely make sure that I update you on that. But for today, we're talking about the basement here. We're actually going to start in the garage because over the last week or so, I did some different things, and it seems like I always get very excited and kind of just the juices get flowing here around Monday and Tuesday to do this housework because our trash day is on Tuesday. So I have some things that we're going to throw to the curb here today. And in general here, the garage is looking a lot cleaner, a lot better. Probably the last time that I filmed something, there was a bunch more shit right here. And so that was just because of we're moving things and just it wasn't organized at all. I've started to do that a little bit more, and I kind of want to talk about sort of the overall game plan here now where we're at. So a lot of the stuff that I had here is actually stuff that was borrowed from either Amanda's stepdad Mo or my dad. So I'm trying to get rid of most of that stuff that we're not using anymore, and some painting things along those lines. So we're working on that. Kind of did this whole initial organization here over on these shelves that we had here. I'm not exactly sure if it's going to stay like this. I didn't really put a ton of thought in there. Just wanted to kind of get it off the floor, but that's definitely a step in the right direction. There was some shelving, right? And I'm probably going to continue to modify this a little bit, but there was these types of just bracketed, wood shelves, and they serve a purpose. They're fine in a lot of senses, but I want to just, it's just the type of person I am. I like to kind of start from the ground up on a lot of stuff. And I want to be more methodical about the way that I lay this stuff out, because I actually thought about this today. I don't know if you've been following, how long you've been following the vlogs here for, but there was a huge bench here, when we moved in, right? And it was just an old, I don't know how long ago it was built, but it was a solid bench, and I destroyed the shit out of it and, took it all out and all that sort of stuff. But the thought that I had at that time was that I was going to build a new bench, and I'm not exactly sure if I really want to do that or need to do that, because I don't really know if I'm going to be in here that much, working at all. It's still an idea, but the reason that I'm bringing this up is that my thought has kind of changed on that, and I want to have a lot of storage, but I don't really know if I need to have a lot of the garage needs to be I want it to be organized, and I want it to we use most of its capacity. So to give you an idea, the other day I was in here, okay, and now you can see this is kind of just a barren wall now. But it had these shelves on it right here, just boards and stuff. And then it had these things, which you can kind of see over here, these little things you screw to the wall, and then you have those things. It's a good idea, but again, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna need something exactly like that. I think there's kind of a different way I can set it up, and I've got some ideas. So I took that stuff off the wall there, and I actually, when I was in here, I changed this outlet that was here. It was a older one, it was kind of falling out of the wall, so I just changed it to a GCFI. And I was happy with the way that went. Maybe need to get a bigger plate. It's kind of a little lopsided, but I can't really do anything about that. So regardless though, what I'm gonna do here, my idea here is I don't wanna do anything put anything on the wall or mess with anything like that, because I do wanna paint these walls. I'd love to paint it all white and kind of, like I mentioned in another vlog as well, kind of seal up some of the cracks that it's made, that have been, made in the block or whatever, in the mortar joints. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at, and I'm excited with the progress here because, I don't know, I think we're moving in the right direction, and there's less stuff on the ground. So I'm going to continue to, go through some of the stuff, give some of this stuff back to its rightful owner and such, and then kind of continue on this route as well, because we're definitely not going to need all this stuff. And like I said, if we're going to keep things, obviously we're keeping a lot of stuff, we want to make sure that it's off. Ideally, I've seen a lot of really cool storage stuff. So if you picture this whole wall, for instance, I don't know if this is gonna be the case. You picture this whole wall, nothing on the wall, and then you had to take 70% of the stuff that's here, you can put it on the wall. For instance, just as a real quick demonstration, you could have this thing sitting on brackets on the wall or something like that. I don't know exactly, I've only seen a couple videos on something like that. I don't wanna go crazy because like I said, it just needs to store stuff. But the point is that if you can utilize the space that you have, and then we could still get a car in here, I just really think that that would be 100% worth it, and a really good use of space, and a really good use of time and energy. Because I don't think we'd be spending a lot of money on that stuff. We would just be kind of thinking about it and then implementing it. So I'm excited about the future of this garage. We've got a couple ideas and it's gonna look great. I think I talked about like the laundry room and the podcast studio in a recent video, and I haven't really done too much there, so I'm not really gonna go into it. Amanda and I need to spend a lot of time, bottom line, in there and kind of get like the stuff just in a better, organized better, but in like, again, more methodical way where we just, you know, like storage for like cleaning products and like, you know, toilet paper, paper towels, stuff like that. Better workflow for the laundry, which I'll talk about that for a quick second. It's been nice. Like the transition's been nice. Like Amanda has no problem like doing laundry. I help her out, like kind of put some stuff away here and there. And that's really good. But again, like when you have like, we have a huge laundry room, we should definitely utilize it in a better way. I just think it's, you know, better optimization wise. So we will take a look and work on that here again over the coming months as we do the rest of this. What I want to talk about today specifically is the thing that I started working on here. We've talked about this before, the whole paneling situation. I actually had that piece there taken off at one point, and then I put it back, and now I have it over here, which is an interesting thing to look at, honestly. You can see at the bottom here, there was definitely, this is like the inside of the panel. Let me bring it over here into some better light and try not to stab myself on the nails that are sticking out of it. But you can kind of see here that towards the bottom, there was definitely some water, right? And we went over this before, but just interesting to kind of see, you know, especially for me, I haven't really messed with this stuff too much. Every day is a new adventure with this stuff. But you can see like how like presumably the insulation started to kind of stick to it, and there was just a lot of issues there, it seemed like. And I don't really know how that happened. Like I said, there is a downspout right on the corner of the house here. Maybe that had something to do with it at one point. But I don't know. And all I hope is that it just doesn't continue to happen. I haven't really seen too much, like, I haven't really seen any water or any moisture over here. But again, the reason I want to start doing this now, kind of in preparation for probably a more wet, you know, springtime than the winter, is I just want to make sure that we don't start the finish work, like whether it's drywall or whatever, or you know, even more paneling or whatever, and then have to redo it, because you know, I want to make sure that we work kind of from that. We want to double check that the outside, there's not a problem with like moisture or water coming in, and then, you know, seal everything up and then get finished on the inside. So that's my thought. I don't know, never done this before, but my idea here, and what I want to just document the, you know, the before, if you will, for this is, we've got, you know, all of the carpet ripped up and everything here. I don't remember if I showed all this. We have this nice little shoe rack thing that's tentative here. All this stuff is for that air conditioning project that we're gonna be working on and everything. And I'm ready to go here. I'm not ready to like, you know, go like 100% and just start, you know, putting ceiling and everything in, but I'm ready to continue this, a little bit more of this stuff. I was hesitant because it was still a little cold. It's still like between 30s and 60s. But I think we're ready to kind of go and start like looking into some of this. So I'm going to try to take some of this paneling off, maybe some of the trim and everything. Ceiling's already off, you know, what the hell. So I'm just interested to see what the stuff looks like, especially in these areas where it's like really weird and bad. Like, I don't know what the hell happened, you know, up here. So that's going to be interesting. And it's going to be trash day. So I'm going to break it up and it's going to be great. So yeah, let's get to work. What do you say? Okay, so a couple of updates. And I'm actually going to start with like kind of two little things off to the side here for a second. So I've definitely talked about this before. I still need to bleed this boiler because it makes so much noise. You've probably heard it in some of the videos, but I've never, I mean, you know, my parents' house, we had 4 stairs, so I don't know anything about like, you know, boilers and how to like make these things sound less like gurgly pipes. I mean, I know you have to, like I said, you have to get the air out of the system. But here's the thing though, like I kind of came to a realization today on something, that it might not be the pipes necessarily making noise, the gurgling, yes, but like this house makes the weirdest noises ever. I wish I could capture it better. But if you can kind of see up here, there is a little pipe, not little, but there's a pipe right above that trim there. You can kind of see it's this one right here, and it goes down here, and it probably goes like upstairs. I'm not exactly sure, I haven't tracked them all yet. But you can see that it's like right next to, you know, there was that stapled tile stuff on the ceiling. So they put these, you know, boards running across here, and they're just nailed in there, I would assume, right? So up here, it's like next to that, and it makes noise at random times. And I think actually what it is, I don't really think it's a pipe anymore. I think it's like, like this, like I just moved that out a little bit actually. I pulled that down and I moved it out. I think it's like the nails. It's like when you step on a squeaky subfloor that's like an older one that hasn't been screwed in, it was nailed and there's that like deflection there. I actually think that might be part of the reason. Maybe it's not all the reason, but you got the gurgling pipe noise because there's air in there, and then you have the vibration, but it's not really the pipes vibrating, it seems like. It seems like it's more of like something like that. I don't know, I haven't fixed it yet, but the reason that I say that is because our toilets, when we flush, like not during it, but after the fact, there's kind of some noise that like I've heard recently over in this area. And then I came down here and like there's two like water pipes here or whatever, but that's not really what I heard. I heard it kind of like coming more in this direction. And then like I tried to like beat this board in a little bit more, so I guess there'd be less vibration, and it kind of stopped it a little bit. So I don't know, that's an aside. I haven't fixed that problem yet entirely, but just off of that little bit of research, just thought I would throw that in here because I think that's kind of interesting. Now let's talk about what I did here in this last bit when I was talking about the paneling and everything. So this is what we got now. We took that bottom panel off, we took the top panel off, and then I cut the power here for a second, and I took this other little piece off. So now we just have like this little, box in the wall there. And then, that's kind of what we got there. As far as like other things, like with that, there was a little strip, like a corner piece of trim that was holding those together. I took those off. We have it kind of sitting over here and just chilling. Obviously we're going to either do something similar like this or we're going to drywall it. Haven't decided on that yet, but that's where we're at. I just wanted to document a couple of things that I was thinking about as I was taking the stuff off the wall. So the first thing that I'm thinking about is, am I going to replace this insulation? I don't know if I have to. I don't know if I should. I don't have a problem with necessarily doing it, but that's one answer that I haven't gotten, haven't decided on an answer to yet. I just saw a spider like fall out of the ceiling and go down there, so that's kind of funny. Another thing here is I took this big piece of trim off the top, and you can kind of see it's just chilling up there with that one last nail. I thought that'd be a funny kind of visualization there. It's all one big piece. Like this is probably like, I don't know, 15 feet, like 11, 12, 15 feet or something long here, and it's just all one big piece of trim, and it was just holding up the top part of the paneling. So I got to take that down in order to kind of get some of these off, so that's where that's at. And again, I kind of feel bad about potentially like getting rid of this stuff, but I also don't really know what we're going to use, what we're not going to use. So I don't know. We'll see if we actually get rid of it right away, but we do need to see obviously behind here. So this needs to get done. So we have that. I came down here to the bottom and literally just beat the shit out of this board that was all messed up down here. So, it's just a furring strip type deal that's just nailed into the wall. And just kind of totally crumbled down there. Obviously we went over that. I got to look at that one over there when we get to that. So I might have to at least move the insulation out of the way. And on that same note, I did move it out of the way, and I kind of looked back here. Thought this was kind of interesting just to kind of get a peek at the actual, wall back there. And I don't know, probably going to clean it up just because why not while I'm in here, like some of the spider webs and shit or whatever. And just see if there's anything going on here. But again, we might mess with this, this electrical a little bit anyway, because this switch goes outside and it looks like it also goes somewhere else. I'm kind of confused. I want to get rid of that box if I can. Like, why is that junction box there? I don't know. So just a couple things there. But yeah, so we got that. And I think from watching some home renovation videos, when Jeff Thorman does some demolition, he always like a couple of times, especially in the floor area, he was always looking for like, he called them like little rat's nests, like places where there's like, I guess like dirt and like things put together or something chewed on and everything. I thought this was interesting. It might not be related, but like up here where I took this trim off, like there's like fucking dirt up there, and like almost looking like spider web type shit, cobweb stuff. So my thought is that behind this, obviously with the moisture and everything too, I bet you this block is definitely like, there's a lot of like white calcified shit on it or something, or there's ways for like little insects and stuff to get in. So hopefully when we get to that point, we can fix all that, because I'd like to not have that stuff kind of happen. It's not the end of the world. Obviously bugs get into houses occasionally, but just things that I was kind of looking at and noting. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I want to at least get that next panel off, so let's continue this. Let's talk about where we're at here. So yeah, it's getting pretty gross, I guess. This is, I don't know. I just want to kind of talk about what I've found here. So like, just off the bat, obviously that looks like a little shittier than this one over here. I'm not sure if this side was like ever replaced or whatever, but obviously, we kind of have this going on in here. I'm gonna have to remove this. Obviously, that would just make sense to get rid of this insulation, but it's good to see that there. This is part of the panel, kind of broke as I was taking it off. So again, I mean, nothing really surprising here. Just like, it was so wet that the stuff kind of ripped off there as well. The the paper of the what's it called, insulation there. But obviously there's some water there. I mean, nothing's wet, obviously. I didn't expect it to be. I think that the problem is kind of past. It just, we'll clean it up and it'll be good to go. I'm gonna take this insulation off of here, and I'm gonna take that next panel off, and I'm interested to see like where it actually like came from though, because that's the ultimate goal here. But that is, if I step back, get a kind of a look at this here, that is kind of what we're looking like at the present moment. All right, so let's get another update here. And I should have filmed here a few minutes ago, but that's why you should be following me on Instagram, because you'll see this stuff way earlier, and you'll see it like, I don't know, probably more of it, a little more behind the scenes, even though this is kind of, pretty raw. But point is, go follow me, Mark J. Szymanski, on Instagram. Anyway, let me show you what our current situation is. So yeah, we took the panel off, the second panel. There was some insulation there. I took down a couple pieces that were, still there on that left side. They were intact, but basically this is almost exactly kind of what this looked like. This second, panel here had all of like the back of the panel basically had all of the insulation on it, because it seemed like it had most of the moisture, compared to that one over there. And then there was like a furring strip here that you can kind of see is like, it's gone now because I smacked it and it was already broken. It was kind of almost like this one over here, where, it just got, I guess it got really wet and then something happened or whatever, and I don't know. But this is very interesting now. So I'm seeing as I'm recording this, I'm seeing even more. So I'm not sure how great I can get it on camera, but I'll try to point it out for you. On this right side, we had all that sort of stuff going on there. I can see some cracks, like right here. That's a crack, 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 and then across, like where that little, where that right into here, and then crack up here. Just a big crack, like all the way up there. And I think that was just, obviously the house settling and everything. And I think you can probably see it from outside, because you can see the outside out there. So that's probably like the biggest, our biggest problem there, that we kind of had, and the reason that all this has taken place over the years or whatever. But again, I don't see it being that big of a deal anymore. We'll just patch it up and we'll get it going. The interesting thing to me, though, right now, and I have no idea, like I've never done any of this, obviously, but right here, you can see how this looks like it was patched up a little bit at one point, and now it's like, my thought here is, I have no idea, this is my thought. My thought is like, if that looks like it's patched, right, like a step crack up that way and down this way, and even if we just like rip this shit off of here real quick while I have the camera on. Okay, so it kind of just goes down to there. So if we have a step crack there that you can see where it's been like, somehow, fixed, the only concern that I have is like, when was that fixed? That's the first question that I have. But the second thing is, if there was a step crack like that they fixed, and now there's another one going the other way, I just hope that that's not a big deal. I don't really think it is. I think you can probably just patch these types of things and you'll be all right for X amount of years. But the point is that, I guess hopefully the house is kind of settled and there's not really that much more. But regardless though, that was a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem unless we get it all squared away. So I'm happy that we're doing this. This is very explorative. And honestly, as far as like the room itself goes, like the finish work, it's going to help out a lot. We're going to be able to replace these, these paneling or whatever the hell else we want to do here with this, these furring strips here that are all like messed up, like these boards that go across. And then also, I think that there's going to be a good chance that I'm going to be able to move some of this stuff, because like, why the fuck would you want an outlet, you know, at mid wall height. I don't really think that's something that I really want to do anymore. So yeah, let's clean this up a little bit more, I guess. All right, another update here for us. Yeah, so there was boards down there, like, you know, over that radiator, and I took that one out. It came right out. It was all rotted. And then over here, I started pulling it out, and it was actually wedged behind the that pipe too, the rad pipe. Very dangerous. Don't fuck that up. I didn't want to fuck that up because that'll be a real situation if we do. But got it around that. That was fine. And it started pulling this one off the wall. I think these were literally just nailed in here. You know, I'm pretty sure this was before nail guns. So, you know, it was just nailed in there and it started coming off. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So I got that board on the bottom out. And then I started pulling this out and I was like, well, this little guy down here, this box was up here, you know, on this, you know, this frame here. So I was like, all right, so I pulled that off, the power's off, you know, everything's fine. So I pulled that off and I was considering like just putting that over there for the time being, like just so it's, you know, I don't know, safer, I guess, you know, screw it back in and deal with it all. But just got to find a temporary spot for that because depending on how the wires run and everything like that, we might just completely rewire and rebox the couple here or whatever. So yeah, going well. I think what I'm going to do, though, I don't really plan on going that way much more right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out just because, fuck it, you know, we'll redo it. And then try to clean up this wall and clean up the floor. It's going to look really nice, like I said, when it's done. I hate radiators, as a side note. I will never live in a house with a boiler ever again. But, you know, I think we're moving in the right direction here. So this is exciting. Okay, it's several hours later, and I got caught up with a couple other things that I had to attend to with website stuff. But I had some food, and I'm back down here because I got to clean up. And I just wanted to give an update on kind of where we're at. So, nice unfinished part of the basement now. But honestly, I'm very happy with this, truthfully. I have really enjoyed this process of exploration and understanding like how you know, like the inner workings of a house are. Because I'm not going to lie, I obviously didn't really know much when I started all of this. And now that I have the chance to like pull back, that's one of the reasons I like demoing. One, because you don't have to be careful, but two, because you get to kind of see like the inner workings, and even though it's just a fucking brick wall, you know, like taking the ceiling apart is really cool because you get to see like how things are ran and you get to understand like just how your building is, right? So I really enjoy doing this and cleaning up like all the, you know, disgusting like cobwebs and debris and shit too, because then we can just start fresh. So I'm happy that we did that. You know, I took out a little bit more of the, you know, I cleaned up a little bit of the trash and stuff like that, the little pieces that were there and everything like that. I'm gonna need to turn the power back on here, but I need to probably like fix that. I was gonna do this panel. Maybe I still will. I don't know. I still have some time here, but maybe I'll do that real quick and just get that down, because if I can get that down, then I'll have both of those plugs and be able to do something with them there. And then I could turn everything back on. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I mean, I think my only concern right now is if I've seen a couple things and I've heard a couple things from some people. I don't know if that step crack is super concerning or not. Like, I think there's two things to really think about. The first thing is normally when you have a wall like this and you have like it's all covered in dirt, like the, you know, earth out there, and it moves and starts to like, you know, like the wall could be caving in or like, you know, like bowing or like some, you know, some other shit. I think that's a concern, but there's no dirt out there. Like the earth is like right here. Like it's a pretty you know, like low grade, like it's not a very steep grade there. So the point is that the most of the wall here is not like covered in dirt, so there's nothing like pushing on it. So I think it's just settling. I don't think it's going to crack much more, if at all. So hopefully I can just, you know, patch that and then be good for a long time. I don't know though, but I just need to do something about it. And then, you know, hopefully we can kind of keep moving forward on all the stuff that we're doing here. But I don't know. I'm excited. It's just a brick wall, but I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, let's see what else we do. If I do anything else, if I take that panel down right now, I'll let you know. But yeah, this has been a productive, regardless of what happens next, this has been a productive day. Okay, last update of the evening here. Let's take a look. I have pretty much cleaned everything out, you know, the vacuum and everything like that, swept it all up. Always clean up after your mess so your significant other doesn't get pissed off at you. Although Amanda generally doesn't get that mad about this sort of stuff. But yeah, this is what we got. So we had to take out, I think it was like one, I can't remember if it was one or two there, you know, some furring strips going across. I think we could probably keep these two. I think definitely at least that one. That one's a little shitty, but not sure there. But there's a lot of interesting things going on here I'll talk about real quick. This was obviously that last panel that I took out, cleaned it up. There wasn't a lot going on here. It doesn't look like there's any real cracks here. There wasn't a lot of signs of like the insulation sticking to the panel, so I don't think we're gonna have too much of a trouble here. I'm not sure what we're gonna do though, because like I've obviously taken all that out and I plan on throwing that away. So then we have like this side and we have all of this. So I'm either gonna have to find some paneling that's similar and paint it all to match or something, or just replace all of it, and I don't really know what to do there, but this had to get changed, so you know, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find the same paneling, so we'll figure out what the hell we need to do there. I also have some interesting ideas that I'm just gonna throw in here real quick because I've seen it in a couple different ways. This ceiling's kind of low, right? I mean, I'm not very tall and I can touch it right here. So it's not like a, you know, like a 9-foot, you know, whatever ceiling that you might see in a newer home. It's probably only about 7 feet. And my thought process is I don't want to go too low. I was thinking maybe like a drop ceiling, but like really shallow, like not like not a lot of space up in that part. But I don't know about that. So I have to kind of play around with that idea. But the other thing that I thought of was like just like that whole thing where you just spray the bottom or the top rather, like in there. Like if you take like some black spray paint, like or black, you know, paint or whatever, and spray it all in there, that more industrial look that you see like a Chipotle or something. I thought that would be kind of cool because this is just going to be like a gym area or whatever, and even like there's a lot of living spaces that do that now where they just do that. I have no idea about that though. That's kind of weird, but I think it's a good idea and it looks really cool in a lot of applications, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it here. It's just a thought. So maybe that, not sure though. But again, over here on the wall, all I did was I put this little, this was just nailed in through the box here, so I just put it onto a different stud there, because obviously we took out the one that it was on before. Those are just chilling there. Again, we're going to rewire, we're going to change some shit up there, but that'll be good ultimately when we get to that step. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I mean, I think it's all going to work out here. It actually doesn't look bad. Obviously, we have this step crack here that we're going to take care of, but other than that, I mean, we're just going to keep going here once we figure out what to do and make a plan for the rest of this. But I'm happy that I did this because it is warming up. I'm not really too concerned about it. I might try to throw, I don't see how me putting like concrete mortar caulking on this would be that bad of an idea. I don't see how that could, you know, I don't see how that would be detrimental in any sort of way. So I might just do that like tomorrow just to have something there, and then if we have to do something different, get a second opinion or something like that, then we will do that. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because, like I said, it's not like the earth out there is like pushing the wall in. There's nothing behind that wall. So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, it's been a fantastic day, a lot of productivity, and let's keep on going. But I'm actually going to go ahead and end the video here. It's been a hell of a day, like I said. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you in the next one.